Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I understand that I am the only foreigner speaker today, and I would like to thank you very much, organizer, to invite me to express my view almost 9 years after the accident. I am a member of IRSN. First, let me introduce what is IRSN. IRSN is a French public expert organization in both radiological protection and nuclear safety. We are almost 2,000 salaries coming from different fields with different skills: physics, biology, chemistry, geology, etc. They are researchers, they are engineers, they are technicians, and among these people, there are around 500 people directly involved in radiation protection. We have different missions, mainly three. One is research and expertise. The second one is to provide technical support to the authorities and different administration. And the third one is to provide some contractual services. We have many partners, of course, both at national level and international level. And it is now a kind of fashion to determine what are our values. And we have three words: knowledge, independence, and proximity. This last word would be very important for the topic we are talking about today. The fields of our activities, I already mentioned nuclear safety. Nuclear safety is how the facilities are working and how to avoid any accident. The second one is protection. Protection of workers, protection of the population, protection of the environment against the effect of radiation. The third aspect is the emergency preparedness and response, and also to be involved in post-accident management. Another issue is the protection and control of nuclear sensitive materials. You know that we can use nuclear materials for different purposes, and some of them have to be avoided, and we are involved in that field. And the last one is the protection of nuclear facilities and transport of radioactive and fissile material against malicious acts. As far as I am concerned, what is my involvement in this dialogue? I introduce myself. I am a senior expert in radiation protection, and my skills are mainly devoted to, I would say, the gray situation. I mean situation in which the issue is not clear. And notably with natural exposure, radon, naturally occurring radioactive materials, but also with legacy sites, and of course with post-accident situation. I was involved in all these sectors with some experience on the ground and some time spent to make reflection on how manage these gray situations. In France, as far as post-accident is concerned, I am involved in the French Committee for the preparation to post-nuclear accident situation. And I am fully aware that in my country we have almost 60 nuclear plants, and perhaps, and even probably, we will be facing the same situation than you. I don't know when, but probably it will happen. And I have that in mind. It is my first motivation to be here beside you today. I was involved in the dialogue almost from the beginning. I missed the first one, but since the second one, I attended all the dialogues, sometimes as a rapporteur, And for me, it's very important to be here. And I can see that when colleagues are coming here, the frame of their mind is changing. They discover the situation and they have a better appreciation of the situation. It was the case for me with Chernobyl first, now with Fukushima, and it is the case for every colleague. The problem is that we cannot ask to all the colleagues to come here, and we have to convince them about what is really the situation here. It is a big challenge. Why my institute has been interested in participating in the Fukushima dialogue? First, as I mentioned, we have some experience in Chernobyl, in Belarus, and then we would like to pass this experience to Japanese colleagues. But also we need to understand better what is at stake in Japan in such a situation, because the context here is not exactly the same as in Chernobyl. And we need to learn from your experience. We took a lot of lessons from this experience here. The first one is the human dimension of the post-accident situation. It was the case in Chernobyl, it is fully confirmed in Fukushima. You very well know the different topics related to this dimension: the loss of control of daily life, the feeling of helplessness, the strong concern about health and future, especially for children, the disintegration of family and social life, the threat about autonomy and dignity of affected people, the loss of trust in authorities and even in experts, the discrimination of area, of product, of inhabitants, and the main dilemma now, which is for affected people to stay or to leave, or to return or not. This dimension is your daily life, but from an expert coming from Europe, it is something difficult to catch. You have to be aware of that. Other types of lessons learned from the dialogue: the societal and economical consequences of the evacuation and decontamination. We see this action as I would say, expert and as a mechanical action, but there is also a human dimension behind. The ethical dimension associated with the management of the accident was now better perceived. The engagement of stakeholders, many stakeholders, authorities, members of the public and experts, different types of experts. The importance of the tradition and of the memory after a time in the recovery process. We saw that in Chernobyl and again in Fukushima. The complementary role of the local and the national decision levels is important, and to have a good coordination is a real challenge. The role of social media, which is new, is not specific to Japan, but it is specific for the period, the time. Also, the issue of animals, I mean both livestock and pets. We didn't took into account this aspect in our preparedness, and now we are fully aware that it is a key point. And of course the development of the practical radiological protection culture with different aspects, the role of measurement, and notably the fact that people can measure themselves, the ability to interpret the result, and it means to have a kind of empowerment from the people with the help of the expert, the ability to build our own benchmark against radioactivity in the day-to-day life, to make the choice in the every day. the ability to make decisions, notably in terms of self-protection. Another lesson is the impact of protective action on the environment. Again, the issue of environment was a little bit lost previously, and now we discover it is a real point. But IRSN, as I said, is an organism of expertise. And then the key point for IRSN is the role of the expert. Because today, the text for the management of the response give us some role in terms of measurement, in terms of support to the authorities, but nothing is said about the population. And in the context of an accident, of course, we lost the trust from the people. And the challenge is to put ourselves at the service of the population to take into account their concern and their expectation in order to be really able to help them. And it is a key challenge because people do not trust in us, but they need us to go forward. And the way to do that is the so-called co-expertise process, which was mainly described many times in this dialogue. IRSN, taking these lessons, undertake certain actions related to the Fukushima dialogue. First, with the help of Japanese stakeholders, we built a so-called web documentary, which is called Kotoba. I show you this figure of this web document, and you can go, for people who don't know yet this document, you have the address. You can see what are the testimonies, the videos, etc. Another action was to organize in France 2 workshops in 2014, mainly in order to develop, to present and to develop what is the co-expertise process. And again, many stakeholders from Japan were involved in these 2 workshops. More anecdotic, but important too, is a photo exhibition with a photo from Yun Takai, who is a photographer from Tokyo who came here. And it was presented in the Japan House in Paris, which is a famous house representative of your country in my country. It was in 2016. And we had many visitors, and probably it was a way to present the reality in the prefecture of Fukushima. We also developed several actions in line with what was just presented. I mean, the involvement of students coming from different high schools in Japan, in Fukushima, in Tokyo, but also in different countries, in France, in Poland, etc. And it is an opportunity for them to make exchanges, to discuss, and it was very well presented just before. We also, as a technical body, have several projects developed mainly with CPN. CPN is a small organism which was chaired by Jack Yosha and now by Thierry Schneider. And in different directions. I mean, the dissemination of the co-expertise process inside IRSN, the reflection on how experts and affected population can work together. As I mentioned previously, it is a challenge for the expert to work with the population. And then we try to develop that inside IRSN. Also, we launched a reflection about the management of contaminated goods in Japan and to better understand what are the strategies depending on the different products because probably you know that my country, France, is very involved in agriculture with wine, cheese, etc. Of course, if you have an accident, you will be facing the same difficulties than you. As far as I am personally concerned, I also took many lessons from the participation at this dialogue. First, every time I was impressed by the testimonies, and it was again the case today with different speech presented today. Yeah, it is strong, it is very impressive, and again the human dimension, and human dimension in deeply in the reality. Importance, okay, the improvement of the living condition, which is the big challenge. Of course, there is radioactivity. This radioactivity is the ground, but the key point is the improvement of the living condition. The key point of return or not, we did not discuss that today, but it was very present in previous dialogues. The importance of some key ethical issues: justice, dignity, respect to each other. And a key point also, which was mentioned today, is a difficult relationship between the affected people here and the other. The other could be in your country, in Japan, people from Tokyo or Osaka or everywhere, and also people from outside, in my country or everywhere in the world. There is a bad perception of what is the situation in Fukushima. You mentioned false information, rumor. It is true, we have many bad information, and people in my country, for example, consider that it is a catastrophe in Fukushima, but they do not see that it could happen in France, because we are, as I said, almost 60 nuclear plants, and it could happen, and they don't see that. In France, they are afraid about waste, but not about a possible accident. It is sometimes surprising, but it is the case. And then, in such a situation, one key lesson is the importance to try to involve the professionals, some professionals, of course, from nuclear field, but also from medical field, from education field. It is difficult to prepare, to make preparedness with all the population, but we can try at least to raise awareness of some key type of people, and notably these professionals. And in this context, the role of people like me, we have the possibility to come here to see what is the reality, is to be the ferryman. And it is very important to see, it was already mentioned previously by Jacques Lochard, but these two tables made by painter at the same period, one in France, Corot, and the second one in Japan, Mr. Hiroshige, they paint almost the same table with the same title in the same period, and probably it is a symbol of the role of a foreigner expert like me today as far as Fukushima is concerned. I would like to thank you very much for your attention.